So this tutorial is on Google Webmaster Tool, and the same thing, Google Search Console, Google Webmaster are the same thing. And this tool is very important for SEO and digital marketing. So if you are doing search engine optimization for your website or for your client's website, Google Webmaster Tool is very important. Here you can see all the technical details of your site. If there is any error Google is facing on your site, Google will list all those information on Google Webmaster Tool. So this is going to be a very important lesson. It will be a very important tool for all optimizers. So it has two different things you have to do. First, you have to integrate your website with Google Webmaster Tool, and second, you after you integrate your site, then you can start seeing all the data on Webmaster Tool. So first, I will show you how to integrate your site, and second, I will show you how to get all the data from Webmaster Tool. So first, I'm moving to the integration process first. So I'm opening this browser. You can open Google, and you have to log in here. So I'm already logged in. Next, you can search with Google Webmaster Tool. Google Webmaster Tool, you search with that, and you can actually search, and then you will find google.com/webmaster/tools. This is the link you have to click, and you will be taken to this page. This is the home page of Google Search Console. Previously it was called Google Webmaster. A couple of months back, Google has rebranded this particular tool to Google Search Console. Right now we call it Google Search Console. So this is where we have to integrate our website with Google Webmaster Tool. So we have opened a website here. You can see the website from here. This is the website we are going to integrate, technos.co.nf. This is the site. First of all, you have to copy the domain name. So this is the domain name. Do not copy the WP admin part, just copy the domain name from here. This is the domain name, technos.co.nf. Once you copy it, come to the Webmaster Search Console page. We are on the home page. This is the page where we are right now, and you have to put your website information here. So http://technos.co.nf. Now one thing you have to remember, if you set your website to www, you have to put www here. If your website is set on non-w version, then put non-w version. As you can see, this site is set on non-w version. It's opening with technos.co.nf without w, so you have to put the same here, non-w version. Once you paste the domain here, next you have to click here on add property. All websites are called property on Google Search Console. So click on add property. You will be taken to the next page where you will have two different methods. One is recommended method and another is alternate method. Both of these work. We are going to integrate this website with Google Search Console. So first one is called recommended method, and this method is HTML file upload. So in this process we have 4 different steps. We have to complete those 4 steps, and finally we will integrate the site. How to do this? First step, download this HTML verification file. You have to download this HTML verification file. You can click on it and you can download somewhere on your site, on your system. Once you save this file on your system, next you have to upload the same file to this site. And for uploading purpose, you need to have one tool called FTP, file transfer protocol. You can use FileZilla or Smart FTP like programs, and you can easily upload this file which you have already saved on your local system, and that can be easily uploaded to your server. You have to have file transfer protocol software like FileZilla or Smart FTP, where you can actually log in with your user ID and password, website user ID password, and then you can upload that file to your server. Once it is uploaded, now next third step, confirm successful upload by visiting this link. You have to click on this link, and if you do not see any 404 page not found error, then the file has been uploaded successfully. Again I am telling, you have to click here, and if the upload process is successful, if you have successfully uploaded the file, after you click here, you will not see any 404 page not found error. So in that case, your upload process is complete. It's done. Next, they are telling you to click on verify below. You have to click on this I'm not a robot, and next you have to click here on verify. Once you click here on verify, Google will internally check this server, this site, that whether that same file is there on the server or not. If they find it, then they will integrate your site with Webmaster Tool. That is the recommended method. Now for a WordPress type of site, you may or may not use this method. Recommended method does not mean that you have to do it. It's a method which is recommended by Google. Still you can use alternate methods too. So for a site which is uploaded on WordPress software, where you are using WordPress software, in that case you can use alternate methods also. So if you click here on alternate methods, you have this HTML tag option, and this option is very easy to use. If you click here on this radio button, you will get this meta code. You have to copy this meta code from here. You can copy this straight from here. You can move to your WordPress site, and then you have to go to appearance, and before that there are a couple of options we have here. If you move to SEO, we have general options, so you can move to general, and here you have webmaster options. So we have webmaster tool options here. So if you click here on webmaster tools, we have Google Search Console option here. So what you can do, you can put the meta code here, paste the meta code here, and you have to just keep this number, just this number. You do not have to keep all the meta and all those stuff. So first you just remove this portion. See which I am removing. This portion has to be removed from here, and the last this portion has to be removed. Next you can save changes. You can go to the webmaster tool, and you can click here on verify. This is one option which you can use for integrating Google Webmaster with your site. Or else we have this option. We generally do not use this. You should not use this. This integration process is done by the Yoast SEO plugin, so it's not recommended. Better if you go to appearance, go to editor, and once you are on editor page, press Ctrl F. So we are right now on appearance and editor page. Press Ctrl F here and type header.php. This is the theme header file. You have to again click here. You will be taken to the header.php page. So right now we are on header.php page, and you have to find out this line. If you are not able to find out this, you can use the same Control F option, find option, put /head. This will be highlighted like this. Put one enter before this line, make a line like this, and put the meta code here. We have copied this meta code from this position from Webmaster tool, HTML meta tag alternate methods option, and we are pasting that on appearance header.php file before the /head line. This line must go anywhere between this, between in head and /head. You can put somewhere within head and /head line. So we have pasted here. Next you have to click here on update file and go to the search console once again and click here on verify. You will see that the site will be automatically verified. So this is a bit easier option for a WordPress site, and alternative option is there, recommended option is there, so you can use this too. So if you purchase a domain and a server from a hosting provider like maybe hostgator.com or GoDaddy or Bluehost or DreamHost or Enom, so they will send you a one user ID and password. That user ID password you can use to log in on your cPanel as well as on your FTP software. So you must have one FTP software like FileZilla or Smart FTP, and there you have to log in with that username password. Once you are logged in, then you can use the recommended method. You can download the file from here, you can upload the file on the server, then you click here to verify whether the upload is successful. If the upload is successful, you will not see any 404 page not found error, and if you do not see that, then click here on verify below. You have to click here, and next you have to click on the verify option. And if you are using the WordPress site, you can use the alternate methods HTML tag option. Copy this from here, go to your WordPress site admin section. Next you click here on appearance, go to editor, find the header.php file from here. This is the file, and once you are on header.php, control F, put /head. The line will be highlighted here, and you have to just press one enter here to make a blank line and paste the metacode here. Save the file from here, update file, go to the webmaster tool once again, and next you click here on verify. Automatically your site will be integrated with Search Console. Once it is integrated, you will be able to see all the data from Google Search Console of this site. All the data, all the technical data related to this site will be listed on Google Search Console. So this is how you have to integrate Webmaster and your website. Once you are done with this, now I am going to show you how you can see, or what are the data you can see from Google Search Console. So we have this website here. I'm going to show the data from here. Initially, once your site is integrated, your website will look like this. Your website information will look like this. So we are right now on Search Console dashboard. This page will only come once you integrate your site successfully with Webmaster tool. So any of those recommended or alternate methods you can use to integrate the site. If you have successfully integrated, then this page will come. So right now we are on Search Console website, and this is the site techsupportleadsprovider.com. It's an international website, and we are on the dashboard page right now. It's related to tech support leads business. So you can see this is the dashboard. Couple of information you can see here, some graph you can see here, some buttons you can see here, and sitemap option you can see here. So we are going to start discussing on this one by one. We will start from the crawl as it appears on the first position, and let's move to crawl. If you click here on crawl, you already know what does it mean by crawl. Crawls means reading of search bots. Means when a search bot come to your site, when it reads the content from your site, that process is called crawling. So if Google face any difficulties during crawling and all, so they will list all those information under crawl section. So we are going to move to crawl section. Here it is. You can click here, and there are all different submenus, options are there, sublinks are there. You can move to one by one to each of these. I will tell you how to do all the stuffs. So let's move to crawl stats. So we are on site errors section. On site errors page, crawl errors page, you will have two different types of errors. First one is called site errors, and second one is called URL errors. So under site errors, you may have three different types of error. First one is called DNS error. DNS full form is domain name server. DNS error happens due to your name server errors. You may have name server 1, name server 2, and if they are not working properly, then you will see DNS error here. But as an optimizer, you cannot change that, or you cannot correct it. DNS is completely domain part, domain job, or your hosting server job. So if your hosting and domain is not working properly, if your server is not responding, if there is any name server error, then you may see the DNS error. And if it is happening on your site, Google may face difficulties to crawl your pages if there is a DNS error. Now in that case, what will be your job as an optimizer? You cannot do anything. What you have to do, you have to contact your hosting or server company and you have to tell them that we are facing a DNS error. You can take a screenshot from this page, and you can send that as an attachment on email. You can tell your company, Sava company, that we are facing this DNS error, please rectify it and make it correct ASAP. That is what you can do. Same thing, you if you are working as a freelancer with your clients, and one of your client website is facing that DNS error. In that case, you can see that from their webmaster tool. And same thing you have to do, take one screenshot of the page and send it to your client, and means suggest them to consult with their hosting or server company. Except this, you cannot do anything. That is the complete domain admin part job. So as an optimizer, you cannot change anything for DNS error. Same thing will happen for the second error under site errors, that is called server connectivity error. Now if your site has server connectivity error, that means your server is not responding properly. Someone is trying to open your site on browser and it's not opening. Browser is showing timeout, or browser is showing unable to respond or unable to open the page. Similar messages browser is showing. That means the browser is not able to connect with the server. Your website is hosted somewhere on the server globally, and if your local browser is if your system browser is not able to connect to that server, then server connectivity error will be there. And same, if that is happening, Google will not able to crawl your pages. So that's a problem, and Google will list the server connectivity error under site error section. Now if that happens, if server connectivity errors happens here, again you cannot do anything, you cannot change that. What you have to do, same thing, you have to take a screenshot of this page, and you have to either send that to your client, suggest them to check with their server company, or else if you have the website, you directly take a screenshot, send an email to your server company with an attachment of this page, and ask them for a solution, or tell them to solve this ASAP. That is the thing you can do. Other than this, you do not have anything to do for DNS error and server connectivity error. Third error which you can see under site errors is called robots.txt fetch error. Now this is the thing you can do. This is the job of you. So you have to ensure that there should not be any robots.txt fetch error. Fetch means access. If Google is not able to access your robots.txt file from the server, from your website, then Google will list the error here under site error section. So third error is called robots.txt error. There can be different reasons why a robots.txt error is not accessible by Google. First, the reason can be you do not have any robots.txt file on your server. So definitely Google will not able to find that. So Google will list the robots.txt fetch error here. Second reason can be you have a robots.txt file, but you have misspelled the name of the file. You have made it robot.txt. The file name should be robots, robots.txt, but you have made it robot.txt. So again, for that same error, Google will not be able to find out the robots.txt file, and they will list the error here. Third reason can be you have created a robots file, but the extension is not .txt. You have made it .php or .html or any other extension. That will not work. This file is a notepad file. It must be .txt only. So you have to, if you see any robots.txt file, robots.txt fetch error under site error section, you have to check all those things one by one. If you see that there is no robots.txt file, you have to create one robots.txt file from your server or for your website. And if you see that robots.txt file is there, but there is a naming problem, the file is robot.txt file. So in that case, you have to correct it. It should be robots. If you see there is a robots file, but the file extension is .php or .html or .jsp, .js, .css, anything, then you have to change it to .txt. It should be a notepad file. So if you correct all those things one by one, you will see that after some days, Google will unlist that error from here, from site error section. Google will remove that error from site error section. So this is first thing you can do for a site. Robots.txt file is very important. It helps all search engines to understand whether they have permission to crawl the site or not. Or there can be another thing, robots.txt file also helps search engines to know which part of the site is crawlable by them or not, which part is crawlable, which part is not. So that is a very crucial file for search engine optimization. You must keep that file on any type of website. That can be a simple .php, HTML, or WordPress, or Joomla, Magento, whatever the site is. You must have a robots.txt file. So make sure that file is uploaded. It must be on the root folder. Root folder means it must be uploaded to the www or HTML public underscore HTML folder, not anywhere. It must be on either on www or under public underscore HTML if you are on Linux server. If you are on Windows server, it can be on HTTP docs server folder. So first, you have to ensure that the robots file is uploaded in proper location. Second, check their name, whether it is robots or robot or anything. It must be robots. And third, you have to check their extension. It must be .txt. Once you rectify all those stuffs, you will see after some days Google will remove that error from site error section. So there are three different errors you can see here on site errors: DNS error, server connectivity error, and robots.txt fetch error. Third, after site errors, you can see URL errors. Under URL errors, you will see some of soft 404 and 404. First, I will move to 404. If you click here on not found means page not found. That means it's a 404 error. So what does it mean? 404 means when you are trying to open a page of a website on browser, it's not opening, and the browser is showing you the message page does not exist or page not found or 404. So that is basically a 404 error, and there can be 2-3 different reasons for this. First reason, there is no page like that. Maybe one URL is giving, say for this, you can see 404 errors are happening here. So there is no plans page under this domain. Under this domain, there may not be any plans page. So Google is not able to find that page, and it's showing 404 here. Similarly, they do not have a gallery slash page, so it's showing you a 404. Pricing page is not there on this domain, on this website, so it's showing a 404. So this can be one reason. Maybe the page is actually not present on the server. That's why the page is showing 404. This is one reason. Second reason, maybe there was a page previously, but you have deleted that. So right now it's not present. So again, that can show you a 404 error. Third reason can be, maybe there is a page, there was a pricing page, but you changed the name of this page or the URL. It's not the name, it's this is URL. So maybe this URL was present some time back, but after some days, maybe you have changed this URL to say for lead hyphen pricing. So the pricing page is not anymore on the server. The new page is that lead hyphen pricing. So the old page is not there, so it will show you a 404. The solution would be, you have to redirect the non-existing page to an internal existing page, a relevant internal existing page. So if you are seeing that some of the URLs are giving 404 errors, then your job as an SEO, your job is to create or redirect a non-existing 404 URL to an existing internal relevant URL. So if you are seeing that pricing page is showing 404, and if you have a new pricing URL, the new URL is leads-pricing slash, then you have to redirect this pricing slash page to leads-pricing slash page. Now how to do that? You will know how to do a redirection once you know how to use htaccess file. You will know that. So under 404 you will see all the pages which are not opening on browser due to the page non-existence or URL non-existence. It's not about page, it's about URL again and again. So if the URL is not present on a page, the URL will show you a 404. So the solution is redirection, and it has to be a permanent redirection 301. You will understand all those stuffs once we move to next tutorials. Next one is called soft 404. So this is called 404, and there is another thing called soft 404. What is soft 404? We do not have any soft 404 here. There was a soft 404 error which has been resolved here. On this date, you can see 13th April 2016. On that date, the soft 404 error was resolved. So what does it mean by soft 404? Soft 404 and 404 are more or less same or very similar. Why soft 404 does happen? Because if you have a 404, that means the page is actually not opening on a browser due to the non-existence of the URL. And in case you have an URL on a site, you have the URL on the site, the page is absolutely opening on a browser, but when Google tries to open it from their system, it does not open. It's not opening from Google's end. But if you are trying as an user, if you are trying to open the page on a browser, you are able to open it, but Google is not able to open the page, or Google is not able to download the page, or Google is not able to crawl the page. In all those cases, a soft 404 error will happen. So if the page is opening, the code is 200, HTTP code is 200, and if the page is not opening due to the non-existence of the URL, then the error code is 404. So successful opening code is 200, non-existence of URL HTTP code is error code is 404. So in soft 404, what will happen when you are trying to open the page, it will give you 200 successful downloading of the page is existing. When Google is trying to open the same page, they are getting 404 error. So they are not very much sure whether it is actual 404 or not, because the page is actually accessible by a user, but it's not opening from their end. So they will list it under soft 404 error. So this can be one reason. The solution is you have to check whether the page is actually existing or not. You can open the URL on the browser. If it is opening, then you do not have to do anything. It will be resolved automatically. And there can be another solution, means in case you are opening a soft 404 error, soft 404 URL from here, and if the page is not opening on your browser, then you have to do the same thing which you have to do for the 404. You have to redirect the soft 404 URL to an internal existing relevant URL. That is the solution. There can be another reason for soft 404. Say for you have three different 404 errors here. We have three different 404 errors here. Now what we are doing, what I have told, that the solution is we have to redirect these three URLs to the relevant internal existing URLs. Relevant is very important word. If we have a pricing URL which is not working right now, and if we move this to our home page, that is not going to be a solution. We have to have a pricing or similar page on the same site, and we have to redirect this non-existing URL to that particular internal page. So that's going to be relevant. It's pricing that can be similar to pricing or package or something like similar like that. So same for the gallery. Say for you have a gallery page which is right now not working, you have to redirect this to maybe images page or videos page similar to that. Say for you have a plans page, you can redirect the same to maybe the packages page or similar to that. So it has to be redirected to a relevant page, not to the home page. So if you are redirecting these three directly to the home page, not on any internal relevant landing page, then those will be removed from here and those will come under soft 404. So we have to redirect all our 404 URLs to relevant internal uh, pages. Relevant internal pages, that is the important thing, existing pages. So that's why if you are not doing the same, if you are redirecting all those 404 URLs to your homepage URL, then they may come under soft 404 error. So these are the 5 different errors you can see under crawl errors section. Under site errors you can see DNS, server connectivity and robots.txt fetch error. And under URL errors you may see 404 and soft 404 error. Then we move to crawl stats. Under crawl stats, we have 3 different graphs here. You can see 3 different graphs. One is blue graph, one is red, another is green. So first one is blue. This graph is telling us pages crawled per day. How many pages Google is crawling each day. So you can check this graph. You can see all the data per day. These spikes are absolutely natural. Someday Google will download or crawl a lots of pages. Someday Google may crawl a bit less number of pages. So that happens with all sites, but you have to make sure that there should not be any day where Google is not crawling. So the number can be less, like see in this case you can see 29th March 2016 Google has crawled only 6 pages, and on this date on 10th March 2016 Google has crawled 147 pages. So the site may or may not have 147 pages. This site may have around 20 or 30 pages, but Google is crawling 147 pages. How? Google is recrawling the same site multiple times on the same day. That's why this number is 147. Maybe this site does not have that many numbers of pages. So the thing you have to check, this is the last 90 days data, 3 months data. So you have to just make sure that there should not be any date in the last 3 months where Google is not crawling any pages. The number can be less as 1, as less as 1, but it should not be 0. So the thing is that the higher the graph, the better. That means if Google crawls more number of pages regularly, that is good for the site. So the higher the graph will be better for the site optimization and ranking. Next one is a red graph. This graph tells us about how much kilobytes Google is downloading per day. So kilobytes downloaded per day. Now in this graph and this graph will more or less look similar. More or less, not absolutely same, but it will look similar. You can see the spikes are very similar to this graph. So if Google is crawling 147 pages on 10th March 2016, you can see the same spike here too. Google has downloaded 2544 kilobytes. That means around 2.5 megabyte of data. 2.5 yeah, 2.5 MB data Google has downloaded on 10th March 2016. That means if Google is crawling more pages, naturally Google will download more kilobytes. If Google is crawling less pages, like in this case 29th March 2016 Google has crawled only 6 pages. You can see the same result here. 29th March 2016 Google has only downloaded 41 kilobytes. So the more page Google crawls, the more kilobytes it will download. The less page Google crawls, less kilobytes Google will download. So that is the reason these two graphs will look very similar to each other. Third graph is green. This graph is about time spent downloading a page. How much time Google is taking to download a single page in milliseconds. 100 milliseconds means 1 second. So in this graph you can see how much time Google is taking each day to crawl these pages. So if Google has downloaded this much kilobyte on 10th March 2016, how much time Google has taken? So this is the date. No, this one is the date, 10th March 2016. It has means downloaded one page in 1 minute 62 seconds, 162 milliseconds. It has downloaded one page in 162 milliseconds. It's single page. It's not all those 147 pages. So this is very important graph. These two graphs should be on the higher side. The more pages Google crawls, the more kilobytes Google downloaded. That is the best for the site. That's best. That's better for the optimization and ranking. But the less time Google should take. The less time Google takes for downloading a page, that is better for the site and ranking. So this average number should be something below 200. This is more than 200. 200 milliseconds means 2 seconds. Google should download a page within 2 seconds from a site. So this average number should be somewhere 200 or less than that. So definitely we have different things which we can do to make this site faster loading faster. We can means there are many things which we can do on a site, like maybe we can if the site is on WordPress, we can use different plugins. We have plugin like WP Super Cache, which we can use to cache the static portion of the site or the page. That will make our site faster. We can use gzip compression, gigazip compression from cPanel, which will make our site faster. We can use CSS Sprite, minified CSS, minified JavaScripts. We can use asynchronous JavaScripts. So all those stuffs will make our site faster than this is right now. And eventually, if you do all those stuffs, you will see that your average downloading time will be less than 200, which should be. Next one is fetch as Google. If you move to this, I told you that if you have created one page on your site, or if you have changed some existing pages content, one signal Google gets that you have changed something on your site. But how Google gets that? That is not automated. Google may get that information or that signal automatically, that you have changed some portion of your site. Maybe you have created one new URL or page, or maybe you have changed some portion of the page existing URL. So Google may get that automatically, but it's our job to notify Google that we have changed some page content, or maybe we have created new URL. So that will help Google to crawl the newly created page or newly updated page as much as early as possible. So this is where we can do that. So if you have changed one existing page's content, or maybe you have created one new URL, so in that case we can notify that from here. What you have to do, if you have to fetch the home page, is mentioned here. You do not have to type anything here. You have these couple of options. These are 4 options here: desktop, smartphone, XHTML and CHTML. So one time you have to select desktop. This is default selection, and you have to click here on fetch and render. If you click here on fetch and render, you will be seeing this page. It's showing you pending. It takes some time. Once it will be done, there will be one box with one button. There will be one button with submit to index. This may take some time. It depends on your site speed, your internet speed and all. So it's showing submit to index. You have to click here on submit to index, and you have 2 different options: crawl only this URL, crawl this URL, and its direct links. So if you are fetching this first time on this tool, you are fetching this URL. If you are fetching this URL first time on this fetch as Google tool, then use crawl this URL and its direct links. You can see this portion. This option recrawls the URL above and its direct linked pages. You have 10 submissions remaining of your 10 monthly quota for this choice. This can be used only 10 times in a month. So until and unless you are sure that you have not fetched this URL previously, do not use the second option. This is very precious. And the first option, this option recrawls only the URL above. If we select this, Google will only recrawl this URL, and this is it has around 500 monthly quota, 500 submissions we can do selecting this option. So depending on the priority of the page or the importance of the page, you have to select in between these two. If you are not if you are fetching this first time, and if this page is very important, then you can use the second option, or else you use the first option. And finally you have to click here on go. So and before that you have to click here on I'm not a robot. You click here, select the option which you are thinking would be right, and then you click here on go. Once you click here on go, Google will show like this. It's done. Now you have to do the same thing for mobile ones, smartphone. Same thing, click on fetch and render. This is better than this. Directly click fetch and render, and you have to do the same thing. Once the pending process is done, you will see one button here, submit to index. Click on that button, and you have to select any of those two options. Now what if I have to fetch one internal page or internal URL? So this is the site. Say for I want to fetch the services page. So copy this link, copy link location, go to the webmaster, paste the URL here. You see the domain part is already mentioned here, so remove the domain part from here. Now you see this is the URL. Now do the same thing, select desktop first, click fetch and render. It will take you to the pending status page. Pending, it will take some time. Once it comes, you will see the button submit to index. You have to click on that button, you have to select the option. So click here on submit to index, select the option. We are selecting this, or maybe this can be selected. I'm not a robot. You have to select that too, and finally click here on go. So this is how we can notify Google that we have created this URL, or we have changed some portion of this page, of this existing page. So it has to be done only if you have created one URL on a site, or else if you have changed some existing pages content. Don't do it unnecessarily. This is very important. Don't spam here. Don't do this regularly. If you have created one URL, put that URL here, and use desktop one time, smartphone one time, and fetch and render. If you have changed one page's content, and if that is very important, then you can just paste the URL here and select desktop one time, smartphone one time, and do fetch and render. And select those two options, crawl only this page and crawl this page, and direct links carefully. Second option only has 10 submission quotas in a month. First option has 500 submission quotas in a month. So this is very important part, fetch as Google. It informs Google that you have changed some pages content, some URLs content, or maybe you have created a new URL on your site, and that helps your site to get a faster recrawl and reindex. Next one is called robots.txt tester. On this section you will see all the robots.txt related error. Now we had one robots.txt fetch error under crawl error section. On that error, if Google is not able to find the page, if Google is not able to find the robots.txt file, in that case Google will list that error under crawl errors robots.txt fetch error section. Now in this robots.txt tester, Google is able to find out this page, this text file. But if you have written something wrong here, then that error will be listed here. So as you can see, Google is showing 0 errors and 0 warnings here. So there is no problem. Definitely this is not very much optimized robots.txt file. It can be further optimized. This type of robots.txt file is not recommended. We will show on robots.txt tutorial that how to create a robots.txt file on a WordPress site or on a simple in normal any site. We will have the robots.txt tutorial and I will show that. But here there is no error or warnings. So this is another important section which you have to check regularly whether Google is facing any error on your robots.txt file or not. Next one is called sitemaps. If you move to sitemaps, you will see couple of sitemap files here already listed on Google Webmaster Tool. Now, what does it mean by sitemap? First, you have to understand that sitemap is basically a .xml file, sitemaps.xml. Now, this file contain all the important internal URLs of a site. Say for you have this site techsupportleadsprovider.com. Now all the internal URLs or all the important internal URLs will be listed on sitemap.xml. If you are using WordPress or if you are using any CMS, your sitemap.xml file will be created automatically. If you are using a simple HTML or PHP or JSP or ASP site, then you have to create the sitemap.xml yourself. That can be done manually or that can be done with tools. We can use different tools. We will have a sitemap.xml tutorial where I will show you how to create sitemap.xml file for WordPress or for any other site. So here, once you created your sitemap.xml file, first you have to add your sitemap.xml here on Webmaster Tool. This is very easy. Here is the button add or text sitemap. You click here and you see the domain part is already present here. You have to just type your sitemap file name, sitemap.xml, or maybe sitemap underscore index.xml. Depending on the file name, you have to type that here. You have to first test it from here, and once the test is complete, you can submit from here. This is how you have to do sitemap.xml addition. So once this is added, once the sitemap.xml file is added here, then you can actually see the sitemap.xml file here. So as you can see, we have the sitemap.xml file. It has last processed on January 2016, January 26, and there is no issue with the sitemap.xml file. There are 14 different pages. Out of those 14, Google has indexed 12, and there are 6 different images are there. Out of those 6, Google has indexed 5. So you can see the same data here also. So this number can be similar to this, means 14 can be here also, it can be 14, here it can be 6. So this is how you have to use your sitemap.xml file section on Webmaster. Another important thing, say for you have added the sitemap.xml file, it's coming here like this. Now after that, you created another new page on your site, on your WordPress site or whatever the site. You have created another new page on your site after you have submitted the sitemap.xml. So right now the sitemap.xml site has 14 different web pages, but on your site you have 15 different pages because you have created a newer page. So how to notify that to Google? You have this option, you can click here and resubmit option is there. If you click here on resubmit, Google will ask you, are you sure you want to resubmit one items? If you click yes, your resubmit sitemap will be resubmitted to Google, and this number will be 15. Initially this number may be 12, after some days this number may increase. So first you have to add your sitemap. Adding is one-time job. Once you added your sitemap here, next if you update your site, if you create a new page on your site, you have to resubmit the sitemap from here, and before that you may have to recreate the sitemap file. So this is how you have to use the sitemaps section on Webmaster Tool on Search Console, and it's again another important part. Next one is URL parameters. If you move to this URL parameters, we generally do not use this section from here. We will use some other tools to create our website more optimized, more search engine friendly, and that is called .htaccess. We will use that particular file. We have a tutorial for that on htaccess, and on that particular tutorial I will show you how to use htaccess file to re-optimize or recreate your URLs. So it does not require here, so we can just ignore this part or skip this part. Next one is called security issues. If you move here, Google will show you if there is any security related problems with your site. As you can see, currently we have not detected any security issues with your site's content, so there the site is risk free right now. But if you see any errors here, most probably your site has been hacked, or there is an virus attack on your site. In all those cases, as an optimizer you cannot do anything. It's a complete designer or developer's job. So if you see anything here, if that is your own site, please consult with your developer or designer. If that is your client's website, please inform your client over email that your site has some security issues. Please check with your designer and developer and rectify it as early as possible. So this is one section where you just have to inform your client or inform your own developer. Next is other resources. We will move to this later on, not today. Next one is called Google Index. If you move on Google Index, we have index status first. So click on index status, and here on this page Google will show you a graph and a number. And this number, what does it mean by this number? It means Google has indexed 26 pages from this site till date. So as you can see, this graph is increasing gradually over time. Some there is 27 pages Google indexed on 17th April 2016, and on 24th April 2016 Google has de-indexed one page, and the number is 26, and it's going on right now. So this number tells you the number of pages Google has indexed from your site till date. So, and if there can be, maybe your site has 30 pages, Google has indexed 26 pages. That means only those 26 pages may rank. Rest of the 4 pages, if you have 30 pages on your site and if this number is 26, that means those rest 4 pages will not rank until and unless those are indexed. So one page has to be indexed by Google to rank on Google search engine. So this number tells you the number of pages Google has indexed, and these pages may rank on Google search engine. So Google will not show you or not tell you what are the pages they have indexed from here. Though you can use one thing, you can move to Google, you can open Google here, and this is the site. This is the site. You can actually, if you want to see what are the pages, you can see how many pages Google has indexed so far from this domain. But if you want to see what are the pages Google has indexed, that you can do like this. The site is this. You can put the name here, and before that you have to put site colon tech support leads provider.com. If you search with this, Google will show the similar number. It may be same. As you can see, it is 26 here, it is 26 here. This number may be same, may not be same also. Maybe 1 or 2 difference can be there. So it's showing you the same result, 26 here, and you can see all the websites or all the pages under this domain which have been indexed by Google. So this is how you can see the pages which have been indexed by Google, and here you can see the number. So index status is very important. You have to recheck this section at least once in a week. This is one important section. Content keywords. Content keywords is not that much important. Here Google will list 20 different single word keyword. All those keywords are single word. So it only tells you about your content. If the site is about tech support lead provider, lead business, tech support leads, so this should be the keywords which should come on the top. These are the high priority keywords which Google found on your content. So if your site is on tech support lead, and if your maybe your some of the different keywords are coming here on the top, say maybe blog, privacy, or maybe Google user, those are coming on the top, then most probably your content is not well written. You have not found a proper keyword, you have not utilized proper keyword on your content. So that's why some irrelevant single word keywords are coming on this page on top positions. So depending on your business, some of the important keywords should some of the important relevant keywords should rank on the first three positions. So as you can see, support, it's an important word for this business. Leads, again, this is another important word for this business. And tech support, tech is another important word for this business. So these are the three important words which are ranking on the top. That means the content is properly written, they have used proper keywords on the content, and Google is finding that easily from the website. So other than this section does not have any importance. Next, you can move to blocked resources, and you can see all the you can see a list which are being blocked by blocked from Google. That means 13 pages which blocked resources, with blocked resources, means there are 13 different pages where Google is not able to find out some of the portions or some of the elements or some of the files. So this is the page where we have 13 different elements or files which are not being accessible by Google, which have been blocked from Google. So if you click here, Google will list all those stuffs. These have been blocked from Google. Google is not able to crawl this or access this. So you can see that .css file, .js, .css, .js, .js, .css, .css, .js file, .css file, and one image file, .png. So these are the 13 different things or 13 different files which are not being accessible by Google, which are being blocked from Google, which is not right. Everything should be open to Google, everything should be public to Google. Google should crawl, or Google should be able to crawl anything and everything on your site, until and unless there is a very critical section, very confidential section on your site. You should not block anything from your site from Google. So if you see anything here, you will learn how to unblock a thing. We have to use robots.txt file, and we can unblock one particular thing. Say for Google is not able to see this, means Google this particular file is blocked from Google. So we can actually change this, we can correct this, and we have to do that from robots.txt file. So on the robots.txt tutorial you will learn it. Next one is called remove URLs. If you move here, you will see this temporary hide option. If you want one URL to be removed from Google search engine, you do not want that page to rank on search engine, you can temporarily hide that page from here. So say for you have one page which is already ranking on Google, but you do not want, due to any reason, that there can be many reasons where we may not need one page to rank on search engine. So in that case we can use this section. Temporarily remove URLs that you own from search results. To remove content permanently, you must remove or update the source page. This is a temporary hide, it is not permanent. What you have to do, you click here, enter the URL which you do not want to rank on search engine, and press here on continue. Make sure you are copying the URL from the browser, because the URL is case sensitive. So you just open the page on your browser which you do not want to rank, and copy the URL from the address bar, paste it here directly, and then press continue. So it's temporary, it's not permanent. After this, once you temporarily hide this, after that you have to go to the page and you have to de-optimize it. Maybe you have used keywords there, remove those keywords. You have used image alts, maybe keywords on your url, keyword on your title, meta description, on your headers. You can remove all those stuffs from the page, and finally that page will be de-optimized, and the page will be removed from the search engine permanently. So this is basically a temporary hide option. After that you have to de-optimize the page to permanently remove that from search engine. Again, this option is not used regularly. As you can see, if a page is already ranking on Google, we generally do not hide that. So until and unless there is a strong reason for that. But there is an option to do this from here. Next one is search traffic. If you click here on search traffic, first we will move from the bottom. Here first one is mobile usability. If you click here, Google may show you some of the errors if your site is not mobile friendly. Your site has to be mobile friendly today, because lots of visitors are using or using internet from their mobile devices. Around 40 or 60% visitors are today who are using mobile internet, mobile devices for browsing internet. So if your site is not mobile friendly, in that case most probably you are losing lots of targeted customers who are using mobile devices to visit your website. So if your website is not mobile friendly, your site will look very small uh, and microscopic on your on a mobile device. The person who is visiting your site from a mobile device will have to zoom it to see the to read the content or to browse the pages. Now if they zoom in the page, there will be a left and right scroll. We generally use the vertical scroll. If there is a horizontal scroll, it's very difficult to use the page. The user experience will be very poor. So your site has to be mobile friendly. Now there can be two different things or two different approaches for the same, but in reality an optimizer cannot do this. There must be a designer who will do the same, or there can be a developer also who can do the same. So the two approaches, first one is called mobile responsive web design. In short, that is called RWD, responsive web design. This is recommended by Google. If your site is not mobile friendly today, you can recommend your client or your designer to make your site or to make your client's website responsive. This is the best. This is most means hassle free. So if you see any error here on this page on mobile usability section, if it is your website, you talk with your designer or developer, or else if you can do it yourself, you have to make your site responsive. If you are working with your clients, you are a freelancer, you can tell your client to make their site responsive, which is the best option. Second process can be, you can create a separate version of your site which will open on mobile devices. You might have already seen sites with www.abc.com, and the same site is opening on mobile with m.abc.com. That means there are two different domains, subdomains are there. www.subdomain is opening the site on desktop or laptop devices, and m.subdomain is opening the site on mobile or tablet devices. So there can be different problems with that, because you are creating two different subdomains for the same site. So there can be duplicate content issues. You have to use canonical tags for the same. So there can be some additional overheads for this approach. But yeah, if you are not able to create a responsive website, then mobile separate website can be an approach, can be a process to make your site mobile friendly. But the best solution is always responsive web design, RWD, and this is recommended by Google. So as I told, if you see any error here, being an optimizer, you cannot do anything, you cannot change anything. What you have to do, if it is your own site, consult with your designer, make your site mobile friendly. And if it is your client's website, tell them or email them, take a screenshot of this page, email them as an attachment, and tell them to consult with their designer or developer and make their site mobile friendly. There are two approaches you can recommend them: RWD and mobile separate site. RWD is recommended by Google, and it is the best option. After that, there is international targeting. If you move here on international targeting, you can have two different tabs here: language tab and country tab. In case you can see there are 5 different errors on this website on hreflang: 8 hreflang tags error and 5 hreflang tags with errors. They have used 8 hreflang tags and there are 5 errors for that. This particular section, this hreflang, is only important if you are targeting multiple countries with multiple languages from the same website. So say for you have a website abc.com, you have a page on that site which you have created for UK, you have another page on that same site which you are creating in for France, and the language is French. So that will create some duplicate content problem. You have same website, you have two pages. One page you have created for UK. For the same topic, you have created another page for France in language French. So there will be a duplicate content issue, and in that case you have to use hreflang. On UK page you have to use English English UK, and for French page you have to use FR. Now how to use that, we have an href lang tutorial, so I will show basically on the technical SEO tutorial we will show how to use href lang, how to create it. We have tools for that, we can use those tools, we can create the code and we can directly use on the page. But if your site does not have that, if you are not targeting multiple languages from multiple countries, then you do not have to use hreflang. This particular website has been created only in English language and they are not targeting multiple countries separately. So hreflang is actually not required here. So this error is actually meaningless. They should not use this, and they have used and they are having the error. So it has to be removed. This ENUS, this has to be removed from the page. It's not actually required. Next, there is another tab called country. If you move to country tab, Google will give you an option to select a country, select a particular country you want to target. This is a this is GTLD, generic top level domain, or global top level domain, or general top level domain.com. And as they have selected India, as we have selected India from here, Google is seeing this website as a GTLD, but they are targeting India. So the site will rank much better in India than rest of the countries. If you uncheck this, the site will rank globally. The rank may be different, but they will rank globally. Even if you select this, the site may rank globally. If I select this, it does not mean that my site will not rank outside India. My site may rank, but my site will rank much better in India. So if you are primarily targeting a particular country, where you need to optimize your website first, and after that gradually you will move globally. So initially you can target that particular country from here. There is a list of all countries. You can select the country which you are targeting, and automatically Google will know that from here, and your website will start ranking on that particular country much better than rest of the countries. So this is what international targeting is. Next one is called manual actions. If you move here, manual actions is very important. Here Google will tell you if they are taking any manual penalties against your site or not. There can be two different types of penalties. One is algorithm penalties, another is called manual penalties. Algorithm penalties, when Google is updating one algorithm update, if your site is caught for doing something against that algorithm, your site may get penalized. That's global in nature, because your site is not the only site which has been penalized. Maybe there can be lots of other sites who are performing the same, who are doing the same, doing something against that guideline, and all are getting penalized. So that is called algorithm action, algorithm penalty, that is global. But manual action means manual penalty is completely private. It's only for you. If you are doing something wrong, if you are optimizing your site in some black hat techniques, then if Google find that, then Google may penalize your site. Google may take your site for manual testing. They may test your site manually. If they find that okay, you are using something unlawful, which is not according to their guideline, then they may penalize your site with manual action. If they take any manual action against your site, depending on the degree of manual action, your site may get a de-ranking, or maybe de-indexed, or maybe sandboxed. If they are de-ranking your site, then your rank will be a bit poor. Maybe you were ranking at second position. Right now you are ranking on the seventh or ninth position. That is de-ranking. If they are taking de-index penalty, then maybe one URL or one page will be completely removed from the search engine. That page will not rank. And if they are sandboxed your if they have sandboxed your website, that means your site and no pages will rank on search engine. So these are the three different degrees of search engine penalties. Same level of penalties can be taken by algorithm actions also, algorithm penalties also. But manual penalties are actually means more difficult than algorithm penalties, because here Google is manually testing your site. If they find your site to do something against their guideline, they may take manual action, and that can be due to any reason. That can be due to content, that can be due to the links you are building. Maybe you have used some undue advantage using black hat techniques. So maybe you have used lots of keywords, you have stuffed your keywords on content, you have over optimized your pages, you have spammed links, you have built links from poor website, irrelevant links you have built. So for due to all those reasons, Google may take manual action against your site, and there will be a reconsideration link also. They will give you a reconsideration link here. If you correct your website, if you remove all those spam links, or if you remove all those stuffed keywords, then you can use that reconsideration link to notify Google that you have corrected your website, and now they can again test your website. So Google will test your website again after you click on reconsideration link, and if they find that okay, your site is fine now, there is no problem, then they will revoke the manual action against your site, and your site will again start ranking on search engine. So this is how manual actions work, but this is very difficult. Always try not to use any black hat technique. Don't use keyword stuffing, don't use over optimization. Always build good quality links, relevant links, and from authoritative sites. Always go for a long content, maybe 700 800 words content. Never copy any content from any website to post on your website. So these are very important things which you have to know. You already know the content part. After this, once you know the tutorial of off-page SEO, once you watch it, you will know that how to build links from different websites, how to analyze them before building a link. So you have to do all those things one by one, so you will be more or less risk free. But still, if you see anything wrong here, if you see any problems here, you will have a reconsideration link. Google will notify you why they are taking manual action against your site. You have to rectify your site, you have to correct the errors, and after that you click on the reconsideration link. If Google finds your site to be corrected properly, then they will revoke and remove the manual action against you, and your site will again start ranking. Next one is called internal links. Here you can actually see all the internal links of your site. Again, this part is not very much important. Still, you can see all the internal links on your site. So you can just recheck this maybe once in a month. Links to your site. If you come here, this is the built links or earned links pointing to your site. Means you have started link building, you have started earning links. So all those links will be listed here. If you click here on more, Google will show you all the domains, and these are all clickable, so you can click each of those one by one, and you can check all the pages where you have links from to your site. So there are 138 domains, 138 websites which are linking to this site from different pages. As you can see, this website has 61 links pointing to one page of this site. This website has 61 links from to one page of this site. So this is how, if you click here, you will be able to see all those 61 pages or all those 61 links from where we have a link to this site. So this part is basically important for off-page link building, off-page SEO. So on the off-page SEO part, off-page SEO tutorial, we will come here and we will show how to use this section for link cleaning or for analysis. We have this download option here, which we can use if you are working with your clients. You have to report to your client. You have to send periodical reports, maybe weekly or monthly reports to your clients, quarterly reports. So you can actually download this from here and here. So you can send that to your client directly. So if you are building links for your client website, you have to download the report from here, and you can tell your client, okay, this is the report from this and to this, means from this date to this date, and you can they can actually check whether what type of links you have built for their site. So we will again come back on this part once we finish the off-page tutorial. After that, we'll come here and we will tell you how to analyze links, how to identify some of the links, how to identify poor links, and finally, if required, how to remove links from this section or from your link profile. So this is very important. Links to your site section is very important for off-page link building. We will again come back here after we finish off-page tutorial. Next one is search analytics. If you move here, you will be able to see all the keywords for which you are already ranking, for which your site is already ranking. Once you come here, you have to click here on impressions, CTR, and positions. One by one, you click all those 4 checkboxes, and after that, if you move down on this page, you can see this information here. So first, you know what is click. You have to understand what is impression. Impression is the number of times Google is showing one of your page on search engine result page. Again, I am telling, impression is the number of times Google is or any search engine, here in this case Google, the number of times Google is showing your page on search engine result page for a keyword search. That is called the impression. CTR, after impression there is click. What is click? Maybe your website or web page is getting shown 100 times on search engine result page by Google. Now out of those 100 times, 20 times your page has been clicked. So that is called click. How many times your pages have been clicked? The number of times your pages have been clicked from search engine result page. CTR is what? CTR is click through rate. The full form is click through rate. Now what does it mean, or how we calculate this? CTR equation is clicks divided by impressions into 100. So if you have 100 visits, if you have 100 impressions, out of that, if you have 20 clicks, your CTR is 20 divided by 100 into 100. 20 divided by 100 into 100. That means your CTR is 20%. So CTR is a formula. Clicks divided by impressions into 100. Position is the average position of your web page for a keyword. So next is position. Position is basically where our pages are ranking for keyword searches. That is called position. So if you move down on this page, you can see all the keywords here. Tech support leads where we have 35 clicks, impression is 167, CTR is 20%, and position is 1.3. That means this position is first position. And you can see the CTR is very high, 20%. You can get this number 35 divided by 167 into 100. That means that will come 20%. It is more than 20%, around 21%. Position is 1.3. We can expect 15 to 30% CTR if you rank on the first position. This is another keyword where we have 72 impressions. Out of those 72 impressions, 14 times it's been clicked. The page has been clicked, and the CTR is 19.44% and position is 1.9. This is maybe second position. So in this way you can check all those keywords and you can check all the data from here. At the end of this page, at the bottom of the page, you have this download option. If you are a freelancer, reporting is a very big job for you. You have to report your clients most probably weekly or quarterly or maybe monthly, whatever it is, whatever your client wants, you have to report them. So this keyword data you can report from here. You can directly download this from here. Select CSV, comma separated view, click on OK, and you can open this file like this. It's downloaded. You can open this and you can see all the data here downloaded to you. So you can send this data directly to your client and they can actually check how their site is performing over time. You can format this a bit so that it comes more readable. Now you can see all the data. So there are lots of keywords where the site is ranking very good. Still the impression is not that much good or click is not that much good. But yeah, CTR is very good for first three keywords. Some of the keywords like this, tech support outbound data. You can see the CTR is 34%. So this is very high CTR. So this is how you can take the data from this section, from search analytics section. Now we have different filters here. We can use these filters one by one to filter out this data. Now say for this data we are seeing global data. I want to see only the keywords where I am ranking from India, for which we are ranking from India. So we can select countries from here. No, don't click here. If you click here, this tool will show you data, means the breakup data for countries. You can see the from India we have 610 clicks. This is the impression, this is the CTR, average CTR, and this is the average position. For United States, this. So you can see all the data, means for different countries. Don't select this. It should be selected queries. Now we want to refine this data for India. I want to see all the keywords for which we are ranking from India. So click here on no filter and filter countries, select India from here, and Google will list you all the keywords for which you are ranking in India, from India. So these are the keywords for which this site is ranking from India. You can select a different country from here. If you need to reset this, this is the option. You can click here and it will be reset. It will be reset. You can check the same thing from here, from devices. If you click here, you can actually select a device. I want to see the desktop devices. I want to see all the keywords which have been searched from a desktop device. So if you click here, Google will list you all the keywords which have been searched from desktop devices. So you can see this data. You can see another device like maybe mobile here. So no, not this one, this one. Select mobile from here. Google will list you all the keywords which have been searched from mobile devices. So this is the mobile data. So again, for all those pages, all those filters, you have this download option. You can download this table and you can send that to your client. They may want to see data from mobile devices, they may want to see data from India. So you can just you can use multiple filters same time. So we are using multiple filters here. We have selected India, we have selected mobile. So these are the keywords which have been searched from mobile devices and from India. Now we can actually compare our data from the previous month's data. So we can reset this. We can reset this too. And now what I want to get, I want to see what was the data during the same time last month. So I'm seeing last 28 days data. Compare date ranges are there. So you can see compare last 28 days data to previous period. Select this one. Google will list you all the data during the last month and current month. So in this month we have 648 clicks. On last month we had 539 clicks. This month we have 3976 impressions, where in last month we have 3191 impressions. In this month we have 16.3% of CTR. Last month we have a better CTR of 16.89%. Average position is same on this month and last month. So you can see the data breakup here based on keywords. So this keyword has generated 35 clicks this month. On last month it has generated 33 clicks. This month it has 167 impressions. Last month it has 143 impressions. This month it has 20.96% of CTR. Last month it had better CTR to 23.08%. This month it is the page is ranking for this keyword search. The page is ranking at 1.3, means first position. And on the last month for this keyword search, the page was ranking on the first position or maybe on the second position. So you can see this data from here. You can again download the table. You can click here on download, select CSV, click OK, and the download will be here. Click OK, and you can see the date comparing data from here. So you can this will tell your client that how their site is improving month wise. So you can send that this data to your client, and they can check the keywords, they can check the positions, they can check their CTR. All those stuffs are actually means measurable from here. So these are the two important data which you can send from here. First one is links to your site, where from you can actually send the backlink data to your client. And search analytics is another section from where you can send many data. You can use different filters from here, and you can create a report from this download button. So this is the thing you have to do from search analytics. It's very important. If you are doing the optimization for your own site, this particular section will tell you how your site is improving month wise. So check this data regularly. This is very important part. Next one is search appearance. If you click here, first one is called accelerated mobile pages. It's in short, it is called AMP. This is the newest inclusion here on Search Console. If you click here, Google will show to create AMP pages. We did not find accelerated mobile pages in your site. Get started with AMP. They are telling you to create AMP pages. AMP means what? First, AMP means accelerated mobile pages. Now this is one of the very new update, one of the newest update on Google, AMP. Now Google wants your site to be very fast on mobile devices. Mobile does not have that much resources like your desktop or laptop. you are using wireless internet connection, so it may get a bit slower than the desktop or wired internet connection. So Google wants your mobile visitors to be very much happy or satisfied with your user experience, with your site's user experience. So until and unless your site is very fast on mobile devices, it will not satisfy your mobile site visitors. So AMP is one technique through which you can create a very fast loading mobile page specifically for mobile devices, but still it's in very early stage. Uh, until and unless you are a big website, until and unless you are an e-commerce website or a content heavy website, maybe you are a big blog, you are creating contents regularly, so in that case you should create a AMP pages for all the page of your site. But if you are not that site, if you are a small business website, agency website, then you may or may not create an accelerated mobile page. We have plugins for that. If you are using WordPress, we have plugins for AMP which we can install, which we can activate, and we can use that plugin to create AMP pages for all normal pages. So that will help your site to load faster on mobile devices. But still this is very early to say anything whether you should create a AMP page or not. Yeah, definitely you should, but depending on your business, you may or may not right now. Next one is called site links. If you click here, site links are those links. If you search with a domain, we are not searching with a domain here. We have used site colon tech support provider letsprovider.com to find out the number of pages or the pages which have been indexed by Google. Now, if I remove this site colon and if I search with the domain, Google will list some of the pages. Google is not showing any site links here. If we move this .com, Google may show. Let's see. No, Google is not showing any site links here. Let's search with Moz.com. If you search with Moz.com, Moz is one of the largest digital marketing blog, SEO blog on internet, one of the best digital marketing agency. So if you see this, I have searched with Moz.com. This is a domain search, and Google is showing me this. These are called site links. So if you need to remove any site link from here, if you need to remove any site link, say for you are searching with your own site's domain, and so in that case your site domain will rank here. Maybe Google may show some of the site links. Now in case if you do not want to show this login page here, so you have this demote option here. So you can just paste the URL. You can copy the URL of this page from your site, paste it here directly and click on demote. Gradually this login page will not appear on site link section. This is again not regularly used, so you may or may not use it, depend on your requirement. But yeah, in case you need to demote any site link, you need to remove any site link, any particular site link, you can use this section to remove this. Next one is HTML improvements. If you click here, Google will list all the HTML errors on your site. Google will list 7 different errors here. First, missing page title. If you have a page on your site which does not have any page title, that page URL will be listed here, missing page title. Second is called duplicate page title. If you have two pages or multiple pages on your site which have the same page title, Google will list those page URLs here. Third error is long page title. If you have one or multiple pages with page title more than 70 characters, Google will list those URLs here. Fourth is short page title. If you have a one page or multiple pages with page title less than 20 or 30 characters, Google will list those URLs here. Fifth error is duplicate meta description. If you have multiple pages on your site, if you have one page or multiple pages on your site with same meta description, then Google will list those URLs here. Sixth error is again long meta description. If you have one or multiple pages with meta description more than 150 characters or 156 characters, Google will list those URLs here. And last error, Google will list short meta description. If you have multiple pages on your site which have meta description less than maybe 70 or 80 characters, Google will list those page URLs here. So these are the 7 different errors will be listed here on this HTML improvement section. Missing page title, duplicate page title, long page title, short page title, duplicate meta description, long meta description, short meta description. Google will list the URLs also. You have to just visit those URLs and you know how to change the page title, meta description, how to create page title. You can do that yourself from WordPress. And if you see any error from this section, you have to visit the respective URL and you have to make the necessary changes. Next one is called data highlighter. Data highlighter is basically a tool to create structured data codes, but we do not use this as we have already tools available on internet for structured data. So we will directly use that tool to create our structured data codes, and we will implement that on our site. So we even have some plugins for structured data which we can use directly on our WordPress site. So on structured data tutorial, I will show you how to use those tools or how to use those plugins to create the structured data code and how to implement that those on your site. So we do not have to use data highlighter from here. Next one is called structured data. As I told, we have tools and plugins for structured data. We are going to use those. We have tutorials for that too. We will show how to create structured data codes, how to use them on site, and how to finally test them. So once you implemented the structured data, Google will list all the structured data information here on this section. If you have any errors will be listed here. In this case, you do not see any error. These are the different structured data this site has used, and if there was any error, those will be listed here. So you will know how to use what is structured data, how to use structured data, how to create the code, how to implement them on site, how to test them. Everything will be taught to you on the structured data tutorial, and after that you will be able to do that same for your website yourself. So this is how you have to use Google Search Console. Next, on message section, you can see all the messages Google is showing sending to you. If there is any problem with Google, which is Google is facing with your site, Google will list those. Google will send you the message here on Google Webmaster Message section. And finally, you can move to dashboard. We are mostly done. So if you come here, last couple of things which you have to do, you have to click here, and you have to click here on Search Console Preferences. First click on Search Console Preferences and you will be taken to this page. First you make sure this must be checked. Enable email notifications. If you do not check this, if Google is sending you any message, that will be only messaged on Google Search Console. You will not get an email notification for that. If you check this, and if there is any error Google is facing with your site, Google will send one message to on the Search Console section, and they will send an email to your Gmail ID on the same Gmail ID which you are using for this website Google Webmaster account. So this is very important. Always make sure that this is checked. And the last thing which you have to do on your Webmaster tool, you click here site settings, and here you have preferred domain option. So you have 3 different options. Don't set a preferred domain, display URL as www.domain.com, display URL as domain.com. So any of these from you already know that your site must open on a particular domain, on a particular version, either on W or without W. So if you have not set your website from the site itself, if you have not set the preferred version of the site from the site itself, then you have this option. Means on WordPress you already know how to set the domain, how to set the version. If you do not have a WordPress site, we can do the same thing using htaccess. We can set the W version or the non-W version from the htaccess file. So in case you are not doing those things, you are not setting from WordPress, you are not setting using htaccess, you can still use these two to tell Google whether to index the W version or non-W version. Depending on your selection, Google will list either W version website, Google will rank the W version website or web pages, and or maybe the non-W version web pages. But you have to remember one thing, that this particular setting is private to Google. If you set something from here, that particular setting will not be visible to Yahoo or Bing. So you should always set this from the site itself. If you are using WordPress, do this setting from WordPress itself. If you are using a non-WordPress site, you can use htaccess file to do the same. So that is global. If you do from there, from WordPress setting or from htaccess, that will be global. All search engines will be able to see that. But if you select this from here, this will be completely private to Google. Google will be able to see your setting, your preferred domain, preferred version, but no other search engine will be see the same. So that can be a problem on Yahoo or Bing. So it's always recommended not to set from here. It should be set from the either from the WordPress if it is a WordPress site, or else if it is not a WordPress site, you can do the same from htaccess. So that is that is one of the most important things which you have to do once you create a site. Once you launch it, you have to make sure that your site is set on one particular version, either on W or else on non-W. It should not open on both. It should be redirected to any of these two. It may be on W, maybe you have set your website on W version. Someone is trying to open the site without W, he will be redirected to W version first, then the page will come, and vice versa. So it must be done, but you may or may not use this section. And definitely crawl rate, let Google optimize for my site, it is recommended. Never select this option, otherwise your site may not perform well on search engine. So this is how you have to use Google Webmaster Tool. This is, as I told, this is one of the most important tool on for SEO, for digital marketing. So if you are into this profession, if you are into this industry, you have to have entire knowledge, complete knowledge of Search Console, Webmaster Tool. Otherwise you may not be able to analyze your site's performance, site's issues. So make sure that you are working on this regularly, you are analyzing, you are checking, you are monitoring your webmaster accounts regularly, so that you know how your site is performing on search engines, whether there is any error or there are any errors which Google is facing from your site, on your site. So those things are very important. If you get those information, you can take necessary measures, necessary steps to correct those, and that will help your sites perform much better on Google or other search engines. So work on this, and I believe this particular tutorial will help you a lot to understand how to integrate your website with Search Console, how to use it regularly to know all the data.